Hello and welcome. My name is David Wingsell and I'm going to take you through a short clip here using Visual Studio 2010 to create a basic web application using ASP.NET. So let's get started with this. So first thing we need to do is click on the File menu, click on New, and we're going to say New Project. Putting up a new project here. Under C#, I'm going to go with Web, and I've got an ASP.NET empty web application, you can see there. And I'm just going to change that name to Demo 1, making a note of actually the location it's actually been saved in. So all I need to do here, click OK, and we've created an empty web application. The empty web application means that we take some files from a template, but really there's not a lot there to look at really. You can see the basic structure. We've got a single solution with a single project named Demo 1. Now of course here we're missing something here. What do you think we're missing? Well, how about adding a new item that's going to be a web form that we can actually pull in here. So from the Add New Item dialog box, I'm going to change this to default.aspx. So that's my page, my only page at the moment in this web application, and that's being added right at this point. So the page is going to be added, and then we can actually start to work with that. So as you can see, if I look in Solution Explorer, I've got a single default.aspx page listed there. If I look in the source view, in the central window here, you can see the basic structure of a web form. Some HTML tags, you may recognize some of that, HTML itself, body, head tags, etc, etc. Now if I click on Design View, you can see that, well, really we haven't got anything there, it's completely empty. So we need to pull in a few controls here to actually start building my web application. So keeping things very simple to start off with, let's have a text box up there. Give myself a bit of space. Next thing I'm going to produce down there is a button. Find that button, I'm going to put that down below my text box. Give myself some space by pressing the Enter key here. And finally, I'm going to give myself a label control. I wonder if you can guess what we're building here. Any prizes for working out what exactly we're producing here. So that's the basic structure of my web application. I can look at it in three ways. I can look at it as I am at the moment in Design View. I can look at it in Source View. If I look at it in Source View, I see some markup for those controls I've actually added. Notice the ASP in front of the name of the actual control, the server control. They've actually pulled in there. If I want to, I can actually go to a code view on there, and I can look at the code behind file, which is pretty empty at the moment because I haven't added any code in there. Another way of working with all of this is if I click back to my design view, I can actually start looking at the properties of some of these controls in the properties windows down in the bottom right hand side, and I'm going to just change some of these properties. So I'm changing the, as you can see, the text property of the button control, so it reads greetings. So yeah, I wonder what I'm building here. Any guesses? So that's pretty much what we've got at the moment. I can actually run this. If I click on the green arrowhead at the top, I'll actually run the application, and we'll see something pop up in a browser window in just a moment. It's taking a few seconds to pull up my browser, and we'll soon see the results of that. We've got a single page with the three controls that we've actually dragged onto it. They'll be appearing up there, and we can then see how we can interact with the page, what options we've got there. Churning away now because it's doing a few things in the background. So text box, I can type in David, button I can click on, and nothing much happens. Of course, no code behind. no intelligence as yet really, but you might have noticed, and I'll do it again, a quick flicker on the screen indicating there's a post back from the client to the server, from the browser to the web server, IIS for example, in there. So I'm just going to close that down, and then I'm going to stop the application, and then I'm going to go back to my design view, double click on the button, and that actually generates an event handler in the code behind window. So we're back to the code behind window, and just going to give myself a bit more space here, and we can see we've got button1 underscore click as the method that we're actually working with, and this code will be run when we actually click on the button itself. So we've got to put in a bit of code here. Label 1 dot text, using IntelliSense here to insert things, equals hello, make that capital, space, close quotes, plus text box 1 dot text. End that up with semicolon, and by now you probably get the idea here. So that's my one line of code, and now I'm going to run the application again. When I run it, everything I've done is saved. I don't need to save it independently. We go back to the browser. Notice it's a little bit quicker this time because things have been kind of compiled and cached in there. And I'm going to say David. I'm going to click on greeting, and it says hello David. So that's pretty much it really. Basic web application. Obviously we can make things more sophisticated. We can make our user interface, our page, a bit more richer, a bit more exciting, more controls, more features, more usability in it. And we can also put more code behind, access a database, access business objects, whatever we need to do. But this illustrates the basic elements that we're working with. Just to summarize what we've actually done, start the program first. We started off by creating a new project, which was an ASP.NET empty web application. We then we added a single web form to the project, call it default.aspx. On that single web form we dragged down some controls from the toolbox. As you can see there, we ran it to test the thing was working really, and when we clicked on the button nothing much happened. We then put some code in the event handler in the code behind page, where we're actually simply collecting hello and adding it to the contents of the text box and stuffing it in the button. And then of course we ran the application, and our page appeared, and we can test it all out. Let's say Fred this time. Hello Fred. So that's it. I hope you found that useful. I hope you found that interesting. There's more tutorials in this series and on the website. The website is www.talk-it.biz. www.talk-it.biz. Thank you for your attention.